All right, fellow babies, it's Pachter back on the Factor on SIFTD.net if you're a subscriber, and if not, you're watching it a week late on YouTube, which is fine with us. Lots of great stuff on SIFTD.net, so check it out. It's $30 a year, kind of worth it for a worthy cause. And if they get more members, they can afford more talent. And if they get more talent, then your subscription is even worth more. So give it a shot. Check it out. We get a lot of questions from Twitter. We're going to take our first one from Twitter at Megabyte10164. How viable are the rumored hardware revisions for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 with or without subsidies for consumers? I'm not actually sure I know what you mean by subsidies for consumers, so I'm going to probably skip that. But I think that it's inevitable that you'll see different versions of the PS4 and the Xbox One. There were something like 9 PS3s and 7 or 8 Xbox 360s. Typically what they did was just kind of make each succeeding box out of cheaper materials. So you kind of remember the red ring of death, white Xbox 360 turning into a black Xbox 360 later. The hard drive kept getting bigger. I'm pretty sure the launch box was like 30 gigs or something, and ended up, I think you could get 500 gigs or a terabyte or something crazy. So those are pretty easy. You don't typically see changes to the CPU or GPU because games are made to run on, at a certain clock speed, at a certain CPU and at a certain graphics quality. It doesn't really mean that they can't upgrade CPU, GPU. They can. It's just that, and they can do so and make sure that they work with all prior CPU, GPUs in that series. So the Xbox One theoretically could upgrade, the PS4 could theoretically upgrade the GPU. It doesn't mean older games won't work. They will probably, and they'll make sure they're backward compatible. The only reason that we're hearing the rumors now about the upgrade is that PlayStation has PlayStation VR coming out in October. And one of the big issues with PlayStation VR compared to the other two guys, Oculus and Vive, is that Oculus and Vive are running in 4K and PlayStation VR is running in 1080p. And I think people tend to discount how good PSVR is going to be because they just assume 1080p isn't as good as 4K. I have to say, it's hard to compare the three because there's really very few games that are the same on all of them. But Valkyrie is one that's on Oculus and PSVR, and I actually thought it looked great. To be honest with you, on both Oculus and PlayStation. To be honest, I wasn't able to play it side by side. I played it on Oculus at the CCP, suite at GDC, and I played it on PlayStation VR later the same day at the Sony event, but I wasn't able to compare. I can just tell you they both look great. But the point is, I think Sony has a slight inferiority complex because they did something that I think is really smart. They built their VR to run with existing PS4s, but they want to be as good as the other two offerings. And I'm not sure that the display is going to be as big a deal to upgrade to 4K as the GPU inside the box. So my bias is you do get a PS4K, let's call it that will be optimized for PlayStation VR and will run PlayStation VR in 4K, but will still run regular PlayStation 4 games in 1080p. Possibly if you end up with a 4K display, it'll upscale your PlayStation 4 game into 4K as well. But I think you're gonna have to have games that are made, optimized for that GPU for that actually to work. So yes, I do see an upgrade to the PS4. About subsidies from consumers, Sony will probably charge more if they do it. It'll probably be a separate SKU for a while. My guess is as cost comes down on that graphics card, it'll become the core SKU and you'll get it all the time. It'll just be every PS4 becomes, the 4K. And they'll still run the same software, so developers aren't going to have to screw around. But you're right. If the 4K standard is this NVIDIA GTX 970 card, which retails for $400, no, they're probably not putting one of those in the PS4K. My guess is that Sony is working with their graphics card supplier now, AMD. They're probably working on a hybrid card. They're probably able to put something together that will cost them $50 or $100 more maybe launch the PS4K, at the $400 price point, stop the discounting down to $349, go back to the $399 price point. And if people want it, they can buy it because it's optimized for VR. And if they don't want it, they can buy the standard PS4. When that graphics card comes down, I think you see, the price come down on the PS4K. There's something I think that they should do. No, it doesn't mean your PlayStation 4 is obsolete. It doesn't mean none of your games will ever work or you have to throw it away. What about Microsoft? I don't know. I think Microsoft is constantly trying to upgrade every device that they make. They've got a huge Windows 10 games initiative. I think they want interoperability between Xbox One and PC. I think they want you to have a portable Xbox Live account. They're integrated with Oculus, so you can play multiplayer within Oculus. I saw Minecraft on Oculus with a Windows 10 backup, and you were going to be able to play multiplayer Minecraft through Xbox Live. So I would not be surprised if Microsoft also upgraded. I think Microsoft secretly would love for the Xbox One to be a device that runs Oculus. Maybe you see that in a year or 2 or 3. I doubt you'll see that by the end of 16. I'd be surprised if you get the PS4K by the end of 16, but I think these are things that happen in 2017. As far as subsidies for consumers, like I said, I think they may go to a $400 price point for this because it's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't have to have 4K. People who want HD should be fine with the existing Xbox One and PS4. If you want 4K, it's because you have a 4K display, you have a 4K virtual reality head-mounted display, you've got something that you pop $400 to $800 for, plus, or you may have a monitor that you spent $1,000 for. They're happy to charge you an extra $50 or $100. So I doubt you'll get subsidized more than to that kind of level. Hope that's responsive. Our next question comes from SIFTD, from Wilson. Have you had intense emotional responses to playing games like uncontrollable pack rage or shedding pack tears? I have, but in a different way than you think. I have this problem with my PS4 right now. I haven't told Sony yet, but I'm telling you. And it just decides to shut down. And I thought, maybe it was overheating or something, so I've been opening the cabinet that's in. The fan doesn't get loud, it's not overheating, and it's random. It happens like every third or fourth or fifth time I play the PlayStation. And it's happened when I've been playing for 15 minutes, and it's happened when I've been playing for 2 or 3 hours. But what it's taught me to do is just frequently save games. So I had this, 30-minute mission that was completely undone because I don't quick save every 30 seconds and I don't check my Pip-Boy, which causes auto-saving. Yes, pack rage. I was like, fucking PlayStation. At first, I actually thought the power to my house was cut off. I went out and I was checking the trips, but as far as rage and tears, I think I smile in games every once in a while. So Little Big Planet, when I first played that, I just smiled, I laughed. It made me happy. And I told the Media Molecule guys that. Rage, only when games break. So no, normally not. I was playing a level in Call of Duty, it was Black Ops 1, I think. And the level was completely black. And the only thing that you could see was the sights for your weapon. And I actually was playing this level thinking I'm in this blackout room, and I thought it was supposed to be black. And I just kept getting killed, and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. And it turned out that it was just some glitch in the game, and if I had to reload the game, and everything was fine. But I got really pissed about that. It was shit like that shouldn't happen. But no, not if you're saying Uncharted, I didn't care if it was the blonde or the brunette that was hotter and he was more in love with. That stuff, I almost turn off the volume in most games and just try to get through the main mission and don't worry about it. So no, I don't. Tears, no. I think I've cried occasionally when I played a game that was so bad. I actually thought, what was it, Modern Warfare? I think it was the one with no Russians and stuff. I didn't want to kill the Russians. I didn't want to do it. I was there's got to be a path out of here without killing the Russians. I was kind of pissed that I couldn't get out without killing Russians. So I was very pleased to see that Respawn hired a guy to write the plot and the single-player campaign for Titanfall 2 because I actually think that Vince he sucks at it. I'm not all that emotional about games though. Like, to me, they're entertainment, and if I'm not entertained, I stop playing them and I find something else. And also remember, I don't actually pay for any of these things. So since I don't pay for them, it's kind of wrong for me to get too pissed. Hope that's a good answer. Thanks for the question. We have another question this week from SIFTD from Jake3103. With the recent leak that Rockstar is working on a Red Dead Redemption sequel, let me put that in the category of no shit, Sherlock. How does a leak like this affect the marketing campaign going forward? Do they stick to the original plans? Jake, I'm really sorry to break it to you, but look, if a game company sells a game and sells more than 10 million units of the game, there's going to be a sequel. They complete the story and there's still another one, and they do it because they make it a prequel or they do something. Anybody who's naive enough to believe that a series ends after selling 10 million units if the same people are still alive and working on games is lame. So it's fine to believe there won't be another BioShock from Ken Levine because he, essentially cut his studio down to 15 people and he's working on other smaller things. But anything that sells 10 million, there will be a sequel because, one of my favorite terms, it's a profit deal. And that comes from the jerk, Steve Martin, when he got the job guessing weight. You should check that movie out if you don't know what that means. But yeah, these guys are in business to make a profit. So the comment you made about the leak that Rockstar is working on it, you may not have noticed, but Red Dead Redemption came out in 2010. Now, I encourage you to check the calendar. It's 2016, okay? 6 years have passed. The leak that they were working on a sequel should have happened in 2010 because they were then. So it's more kind of amazing that we get to let's say 15 when you think it was leaked, and that's news. And the reason it's news is all those dumbass websites that you read, they have nothing better to do than breaking news. Red Dead Redemption coming. And by the way, do a search for Red Dead Redemption stories. It was coming at E3 in 2013, 14, and 15. So every year it is a big leak being announced at E3, 13, 14, 15. I just talked to a client and he goes, what do you think? What are the chances that Red Dead Redemption gets announced at E3 or before? And I said, 100%. I'm just not going to commit to which E3 or before. So it's going to be announced by E3 of 2025 for sure. And it might be announced by E3 of 2024, 3, 2, 1, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. I'm not sure. Eventually, the freaking game is coming out. Like, why is that a shock? I'm hopeful that I get asked about GTA 6, the recent leak on that too. The recent confirmation that Rockstar was working on it. That game sold 50 million units. What do you think? Take-Two is a public company. Shareholders will keep those managers in place. The CEO gets to keep his job if there's another GTA. He gets to keep his job if there's another Red Dead coming. I got asked about uncontrollable pack rage in playing games. I get uncontrollable pack rage when people are so freaking stupid. Jake, I don't think you're stupid. It is not news. And by the way, I get called this all the time, Captain Obvious, because when I say shit that everybody knows, it's obvious. And when I say something nobody knows, I'm always wrong. If nobody knows it, I'm taking a chance. Everybody knows that Red Dead sequel is coming out eventually. It probably isn't coming out in 16. It probably is in 17. When it comes out, it will have been in development for 7 years. Can you name a game? Oh, The Last Guardian. Can you name a game that's been in development 7 years? Oh, Final Fantasy. Sure, that's what happens, but they come out eventually. So again, ask me about the leak that there's going to be another Final Fantasy. Ask me about the leak that The Last Guardian's actually coming out this year. Go figure. No, I'm sorry, but the answer is that the marketing campaign is going to be exactly whatever it was going to be when the game comes out. It is Rockstar's desire that the game that comes out gets better reviews than the one before and sells more units. I think coming out in late 16 or late 17, when you have an installed base Xbox and PlayStation of 60 or 70 or 80 million units, all but ensures that game sells more than 10. And if they sell 12 or 15, it's a huge success. And Take-Two will make a lot of money. The Rockstar guys will get huge bonuses. The CEO at Take-Two gets another year of running a great company and shareholder adulation, which he would deserve, but not a surprise when it's coming out. And they will market it well because that's what they do. So no, it doesn't change the marketing plan at all. Sorry, Jake, but that's Pachter Rage. Question this week from SIFTD from Kevin O. What are your thoughts on the XGT group's move to Easy Allies? Is Patreon the right choice for such a large group of people? I don't know what their goals are. I mean, those guys are talented guys. Some in that group, Brandon Jones in particular, responsible, I think, for kind of creating the environment that allowed me to do my first, video, Pack Attack and game and bonus round videos. And so I wish them well. Nice people. I like them. I thought they got kind of the raw deal on the whole game trailer sale from Viacom. I think the problem with the Patreon fundraiser is that they probably aren't really generating very much money. You may look at the number and it looks like a lot of money, but to pay 9 or 10 people, you pretty much need, 50, 75,000 a month, and to actually create content, probably another 25, just to kind of get started. And I don't think they're there. So I think that they're going to have to take big pay cuts, obviously not a pay cut from zero if they're unemployed, but they're going to have to take a big lifestyle cut from what they've grown accustomed if this is going to work. And I think it's hard to commit to that if you've got a family and a mortgage and car payments and phone payments. It's hard to commit to stay the course when each of these guys is really talented and could probably find something else to do. So I am hopeful that this Patreon funding gives them a start, and I'm hopeful that they are successful in generating lots of other revenue, ad revenue or subscription revenue. I am hopeful that they are an immense success. I got asked on Twitter if I'm going to move the Pachter factor there. No, Shane at SIFTD took a shot and is spending a lot of time and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make this happen. And I'm going to stay with him as long as he's in business. And so I am hopeful that you guys can spend your time and your money wisely and support both Easy Allies and SIFTD.net. But no, I'm not switching over. And I doubt they're going to get like the Jeff Keighley's of the world or the Marcus Beers, maybe. But they're going to have to build content from scratch. That's going to be hard, and they're not going to lure me away because I do it for free. So it's not like they're going to give me a raise. I'm not going to take it because I can't. So I'm friends with Shane. I'm going to make Shane's SIFTD work if I can, and I'm hopeful that you guys will spend the $30 a year, the $250 a month. Just cut out a Starbucks every other month, and you can afford this. You drink just coffee. Just cut out 1 cup of coffee a month, and you can join SIFTD. And I think you won't need the coffee because I'll keep you awake. With that, listen, fellow babies, we love you. We want you to be entertained and enjoy all this content. Make sure, I'm constantly amazed at how many comments I get on Twitter, like, whatever happened to Pack Attack? Are you going to do a new show? So make sure you let people know that I'm on SIFTD.net. I'm on YouTube. Let your friends know, make comments on Twitter. Follow me at Michael Pachter. Post stuff and let all your followers know. I would really like to reach as many people as possible. As I said, I don't get paid for this, but anything you can do to kind of keep the flame alive would be great, because more viewers for this is more money for SIFTD, which means that Shane can buy some more content, and you can have an even better experience on SIFTD. With that, we're gonna take off. I will ask for questions on Twitter before the next series of shooting. If you want to ask questions on SIFTD.net, you'll see right where on the site You can post a question, and we will get to as many as we can. We're going to favor the SIFTD paying customers because they're paying for a reason, and we'd like to make sure that they feel they get value for their money. But we will supplement with Twitter questions all the time, and I will try to answer as many Twitter questions as I get directly. So at Michael Pachter, ask away. I will answer directly to you. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.